Most of us don't like the cold, even if we may like the ice and snow it brings. A business in Hancock County is helping to make the cold a little more comfortable.
And as 207's Don Kerrigan discovered, the way they began doing it is a pretty interesting story.
If you love doing this, or maybe this, Judy Ferris and Peggy Collins have two words for you: Mainer's gloves.
I love the idea. You know, as far as making the cryo gloves has been excellent. We've always done a good job.
For about 40 years, Temp Shield in Trenton has been making cryogenic gloves and other protective gear for handling things that are ultra cold.
It's the worldwide known product for the PPE for ultra cold, dealing with liquid nitrogen, liquid oxygen.
And Paul LaRochelle says a few years ago, the company started thinking, why not make cold-proof gloves for everyone?
Our most recent owner, Jim Oldenburg from out in the Chicago area, really liked the idea of taking this technology and how could we wrap that into a consumer product.
Inside the Trenton plant, cryo gloves and Mainer's gloves are now being made side by side.
So what's in this?
Thinsulate 3M's well-known Thinsulate insulation that's on the back and the palm side. And in this particular inner, there's also a merino 3H pile wool, which, yes.
Manufacturing isn't simple. Peggy Collins showed us how she stitches 13 pieces of leather to make just one outer shell for a mitten, then adds the liner and stitches it all together. Judy loves them.
So do you have a pair?
Oh, yeah.
How good are they?
Mitts and gloves, they're very good. I do my own shoveling. I'm alone, so I do my own shoveling and keeping my yard clean, and I like them.
And Peggy, well...
What did you think when they just said, we're going to go into a consumer line?
She says learning to make the new and complicated gloves and mitts wasn't easy.
Got quite a few different styles.
Yeah, too many to learn.
But that learning curve did smooth out.
How good are these?
They're nice gloves. I really like them.
Mainer's began 4 years ago with only 4 styles. Now they have almost 20. New commercial director Ponch Membreno says the marketplace wants more choices.
At a ski shop or an outdoor shop, there's usually a display on pegs of all of the gloves that you can get. Last year, they could have had 1 peg or 3 pegs. Now they could have all these pegs.
Sales, they say, are going well, even though these gloves and mittens don't come cheap.
Anywhere from $169 to $269 virtually, depending on which ones that have the higher thermal values, the waterproofnesses, the materials that are being used.
Not low price, he says, but high quality. And at a time when skiers and snowmobilers pay thousands for their gear, Paul says quality matters, as does that name, Mainer's.
The quality that made in Maine and the name Mainer's has been well received.
The idea of who we are and our heritage of manufacturing put together is a real selling point.
For now, at least, the company's dominant business is still the cryogenic gloves, aprons, and other protective gear, all of it designed, cut, stitched, then inspected and shipped in Maine.
Remarkably, the products made here in Trenton get shipped literally all over the world. Boxes ready for shipment here, going to Chile, to Germany. All 5 of these getting shipped to India.
But Mainer's gloves may be gradually gaining.
There's growth for this, certainly. The cryogenic business, it's a pretty small niche market. It's not going to grow exponentially to the same rate that this has the potential to do.
That's fine, but Joanne Romer, she's worked here for 20 years and now teaches the new people.
Oh, I thought that was great because I own a camp up in Aroostook County up north, and I snowmobile, and it's great to have a nice warm pair of gloves.
The company thinks more customers will come to agree. They've expanded, buying a building across the road to install a larger cutting operation for business growth. Because for Mainers, and for these Mainers, cold is good.
I know that there are machines in there, obviously, that they're using, but I think it's so special that they make these by hand. And I can think of my grandmother who, she didn't make mittens like that, but she would knit mittens for us as kids, and there's nothing warmer than a handmade pair of mittens or gloves.
It's interesting because you and I are always on the lookout for stories. Everyone in our newsroom is always on the lookout for stories, and we love to tell business stories too. And this is a business that's been around for quite a while. I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, no.
Never heard of it.
Right in our backyard.
And what they're doing is such an interesting niche, and having success with it, pretty cool.
Pretty cool stuff. So those Mainers gloves and mittens are sold in some ski and snowmobile shops and on the company's website if you want some.
Paul LaRochelle says they're concentrating on growing the U.S. market right now, but they hope to expand to Canada and eventually to Europe.
Wow.
We've got more information on Mainers and their gloves on our website, newscentermaine.com/207, and on our app.